Hello boys and girls, we are going to plant our greens patch today, and we're going to start in my room. And if you look in my bucket, you can see that I have fertilizer, and it's an all-purpose fertilizer. It's a 12-12-12. It comes in a large bag, and we don't need that much. And we also have our vegetable seeds, and if you look at the seeds in the bag, they're very tiny. So we're going to take those seeds out and we're going to broadcast the seeds. So we're going to take our seeds, you can see them in my hand, and we're going to mix it in with the fertilizer, and it looks like a lot. So we're going to pour those seeds on top and try to make sure we get all of them out. There's some static in the bag, so some of the seeds are sticking to the bag. Now, once we have them like that, you can see the fertilizer, you see the seeds. I'm going to take my paint stirrer and we're going to mix these up. So when we broadcast the fertilizer, the seeds will also go into the ground. And it's not going to be perfect, but we've used about 8 ounces of seeds. So that should be perfect for a 10 by 10 garden spot. And we're having to work to get down to the bottom so we don't have just fertilizer. We want it mixed pretty well. All right, now we're ready to go outside and plant. Boys and girls, we're outside in our monarch butterfly waste station, and if you look, I'm standing next to a dill plant, and if you look up at the top, you can see the seed heads, and you can see that our dill has actually made seeds, and our butterfly garden is starting to go dormant. You still see green, you still see foliage and flowers, but for the most part it's going to sleep for the winter. If you look down at the bottom, you can see where we have young seeds that have self-planted, and those came from our dill plant. When the weather gets cold and we have a really hard frost, those plants are not going to make it. But there are vegetables that you can plant in the wintertime, like greens, that will provide good vegetables for your family, and it was something that families did a long time ago before we had grocery stores, and this provides vitamins and minerals for the family in the wintertime. So we're going to go to our garden patch and we're going to plant our greens, or our salad as some people call it. Now you can see that we have our garden patch. It's 10 by 10, so we have roughly a square area that we're going to plant our salad greens in, and we're going to do this the way that my grandfather did, and we're not going to plant it in rows, we're going to broadcast. So again, if you remember my bucket has the 12-12-12 fertilizer in it, and it also has our salad seeds, and I went heavy on the salad seeds, so hopefully we'll have a good crop. So we're going to have to keep our fingers crossed and hope that the weather works to our favor, and we should be seeing some greens that we can eat in the winter months. So when I'm doing this, I'm not going to make a row, I'm not going to make a hole. If you see, I'm just taking it and I'm just roughly putting it out, I'm broadcasting it. So it's not exact. We haven't planted anything like this when you were here. This is a slightly different way of doing things, but you will find out that it grows really well. Now, when our salad comes in, think about the parts of the salad plant that we'll actually eat. So when our salad comes in, we'll pick it and we will eat the leaves. We'll also eat the stems. We will not be eating the roots, although we do have some turnip greens in here, so we could end up with some turnips as well. So we will have a combination of mustard. We have 2 types of turnips that we're going to put in here, and we also have kale. So we're broadcasting your seed, and it's not exactly perfect, but again, that's okay. If we had compost, we could have put our compost and worked that into the soil, and it would have made our soil richer. But the fertilizer is going to take care of that for us right now. So it will add nutrients to the dirt, and it will help our crop grow better. So we're almost done. So the big thing when you're doing this is to try to have it fairly equal. Now, we will not let our salad go to seed. If we let our salad go to seed and it makes those seeds, then it's not going to think it needs to continue to grow. So we want it to grow as long as possible. So we want to make sure we pick it before it bolts. And that means making seed heads. Room on the perimeter, and that way when our salad comes in and we start to harvest, you would have a place to stand. So our greens are edible, and we'll be able to eat those. We'll have to make sure we have vinegar on hand. The weather this week is calling for rain later in the week, and we have some dew on the ground because it's still early in the morning. So I'm not going to come and water this. We're going to let nature water it. And I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to do something that I would not tell you to do, except for in a situation like this. But I'm going to walk over our garden, and walking over the garden is going to help the seeds mash into the ground and the fertilizer. So when we get the rain, the seeds are not going to wash away, but they may go a little deeper in the soil. So we're going to walk over top of it, and it's going to help everything get mashed down into the dirt. When I go back in our building, I'm going to have to make sure I wash my hands well to get any of the fertilizer residue off. We're going to have to come back later on this month and see if we have any salads start to come through. And we shouldn't have to do much weeding because they did a great job tilling the dirt for us, and you can see it's nice and rich. Now, having the garden here is also going to help prevent erosion. If you look, the garden, we have a slight slope coming from the greenhouse and the monarch way station down, and having the salad here is going to help prevent erosion. So not only is the salad garden beneficial to us, it's also beneficial to the earth. Mashing the seeds down is actually sort of fun. It would have been so nice if you'd been here to help me with this today. If you notice, boys and girls, we have a caution tape up. Mr. Ramey put that in place for us, and that way it will help people to know that we have a garden here, and that it's something in the ground that we're actually waiting and watching to grow. Fingers crossed, if the weather and the temperature holds correctly. We're a little late in doing this, but chances are good that we will have salad in the winter months.